Welcome to another episode of the microprocessors course. In this episode, I will teach you the minimum mode configuration. There are two types of configurations. One is minimum mode configuration and maximum mode configuration. Now we will have a look at the minimum mode configuration. The typical block diagram of this minimum mode configuration is like this. One RC circuit is connected here to the 8284 clock generator to send the reset signals, and a crystal oscillator is used for generating the different types of signals like clock and ready and reset signals. Mn by mx bar tied to be high to run the processor in minimum mode configuration. Mn by mx bar is 0 for a maximum mode configuration. ALE is nothing but address latch enable, which is used for demultiplexing the address and data with the help of 8282. As well as the address will be latched to the 8282 and sent to the address bus. The data will be sent to the 8286 transceiver IC, send it to the data bus. So address bus and data bus will be separated with the help of ALE and 8282, 8286 ICs. Of course, data signals also will be demultiplexed by the address in A16 by S3 and A19 by S3. A0 to AD0 to AD15 address will be sent to the address bus and data will be sent to the 8286 IC. This is the general information regarding the minimum mode configuration. In the previous videos also we covered a lot. Due to the drivers are enabled, the data will be transferred from the processor to the peripheral devices or from the peripheral devices to the processor. This output enable is going to be 0, which is controlled to the data enable. DT by R bar is used for a data transmitting and receiving operation. If DT by R bar is equals to 0, then that is a receiving operation, nothing but from the memory and IO devices to the processor it will comes. If DT by R bar equals to 1, then the processor sends out the information from the processor to the peripheral devices like memory and output devices. So DT by R bar is for data transmitting and receiving purpose is used. So DT by R bar is connected to the T, as well as the DEN data enable pin is enabled as a 0. Coming to this M by O bar, WR bar, RD bar, hold, HLDA, INTR, INT signal. These are different types of signals are used as a control signals to control the entire microprocessor. Coming to this internal block diagram of 8286. The internal block diagram of 8286 will be look like this. This 8086 comprises of AD0 to AD15. Of course, OE bar is connected to the DN and DT bar connected to the T. To send the only 8 bits, we just use the 18286 IC. If we want to send the 16 bits, we need 28286. To send the 16-bit data via the data bus, we need to cascade the 28286. In order to cascade, what we are doing is OE bar is connected to the DN bar, and this OE bar is connected to the OE of the another 8286, as well as the first 8286T is connected to the second 8286T. So we are cascading like this. Suppose there is a necessity to drive another 8 bits of the data, the same process we have to follow. This OE is connected to another 8286 as well as the T is connected to another 8286, so that we may have a flexibility to transfer the another 8 bits of the data in addition to the 16-bit data bus. It's an optional thing, but the problem is that if we are providing more number of ICs, then the driving capacity like sinking current and source current is going to be needed much more, so that we just restricted for sending the 16-bit data bus. Why? Because this 8086 microprocessor is a 16-bit microprocessor, so we need only 2 8286s are sufficient, right? Anyway, it's an optional thing. This is the general connection details of 8286. Let them have a look of this clock generator now. This is nothing but is a buffering. We just call it as a buffering. Buffering means that with a high impedance state, the information will be sent through the latches. So the ALE pin is used for demultiplexing the address bus as well as the data bus via the latches and data buffers. So this is the data buffer which will be used as a buffer to send the data via the data bus. This is the internal block diagram, right? Coming to this internal logic diagram of 8284, it provides some functions like can be used for the reset synchronization and peripheral clock synchronization, as well as the ready synchronization and a clock generation. Some 4 important signals it provides along with the wait states also. So let them have a look of this 8284. This RES bar means that reset bar. This will be controlled to the schemic trigger. We already know that schemic trigger is operated with the upper threshold point and lower threshold points in between. So the square wave will be controlled to the data flop, delay flip flop. So whatever the information will be controlled, the same information without having any loss, it will comes out to the reset signal. To reset the microprocessor, this a separate signal is going to be used. Coming to this X1 and X2, the crystal plates will be controlled to the crystal, so that the crystal frequency will be coming via the buffer to the oscillator directly, whatever the frequency we generated in the crystal. And one tapped signal will be controlled to the AND gate. This will be generated by the F by C bar. If F by C bar is equals to 1 and the crystal frequency is 1, then the output will be 1 and coming to the OR gate and provides the divided by 3 sync frequency, which is used for the ready synchronization. And coming to this and EF1, it determines which frequency is coming actually. If EF by 1 is equals to 1, in other case EF1 is equals to 1 and F by C1 is equals to 1, this AND gate will be enabled and the output will be coming to the 3 by, divided by 3 sync frequency. In both cases, divided by 3 frequency will be coming out. If C sync equals to 0, then this can be used for a multiprocessor configuration. AEN bar, AEN2 bar along with RDY1, RDY2 are providing the bus signals to the microprocessor in the form of clock. So if you want to provide some synchronizing frequency of the peripherals, in typical cases we may be multiplied as divided by 3 into divided by 2, then we will get a divided by 6 frequency which can be used for the peripheral clock synchronization. So this type of the block diagram will be providing here in internal 8284 clock generator. Now you may know how to interface this 8284 with the 8086. Anyway, X1, X2 are connected to the crystal oscillator to make the to generate the frequency, and EF1 is also connected to provide the divided by 3 frequency along with the F by C bar. AEN and AEN to C sync is going to be grounded. It can be used for only multiprocessor configuration, and a push button switch is used to the RC network. If you are not providing any switch, if the switch is open, then the RES bar is going to be high. If switch is closed, then the capacitor is going to be discharged and RES bar equals to 0 to reset the entire processor. This can be used for to reset the 8086 microprocessor. A simple block diagram of this 8284 interfacing with the 8086 look like this. Of course, we have some other signals like M by O bar, RD bar, WR bar control signals can be used in different formats like 001. If it does 001, IO read, memory read, operation will be done using the control signals. In addition to this, all HOLD, HLD, INT and NTR signals also can be used for control signals. So these control signals are used for only memory read, IO read operation. Like that you can use. In this video we covered the typical block diagram of minimum mode configuration and what is the buffering, how the latches are buffered and how the data are buffered, as well as the internal block diagram of the 8284, how the synchronization is going to be done for a clock as well as the ready and reset synchronization, and how interfacing the 8284 with the 8086 we have already seen now. So with this I conclude this video. In the next video we will discuss about the minimum mode system. Thank you very much for your patience listening. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will get notifications whenever we upload a new video. If you don't like this video, please be comment in the comment section of your problems. I will respond your comments as soon as possible. Thank you very much. See you again. Bye bye.